Hi guys, so welcome to a video. Let's just get rid of the key. Welcome to a video which is going to be all about switching keys. So why we're doing this is when you are handling information for essays and speaking and exams, often you need to talk about what's been going on in a different tense. So other than just generating your own French, I think it's actually a really useful trick to read some French in one tense and try and read it as smoothly as you can in another tense straight away, as if it's the most natural thing in the world. We're also starting the interpreting series, which is how I kind of teach you to be professional interpreters, which basically is when you will often have to do this. You'll often have to change in different subjects. So it's really, really, really useful for that. Okay. So, right, let's have a go. So those of you that watch this later, the text will obviously be on the side as per normal in these exams, in these videos. So I hope that helps you out. So let's have a go. So the link, again, the same text that we did for the reading the other day, although most of you who will be doing this are too advanced to do the reading stuff, but I will pop the link there, right, so it's gone up. But so that you can see what I'm handling at a time, I'm just going to start popping it into the video. So off we go. So if we can read the first bit. So it's probably easier if you just have a couple just up there in front of you. Let's just get those on there first, and then that will stop us messing around. And then we've got some stuff to play with. So that's there. Good. One more, and then we've got a little bit more to play with straight away. Let's get it up. Here we go. One more, and I'll do the last bit. There we go. Lovely. Right. Actually, I'll finish it off. Play with the whole thing, so you've got everything. And then we haven't got anybody else worrying about not being able to see it. So there it is. If you need these links again, like I said, the link is at the top. There we go. Right. So off we go. So it's probably for the best if you watch this video and have the full text open in a separate window and just listen to me, because you don't need to see me for this. Okay. Right, so we're going to read the text just through normally the first time, and then we're going to do a couple of exercises. So, je m'appelle Angélique Gassama, j'ai 12 ans et je suis canadienne. Il y a 5 ans, ma famille et moi avons déménagé dans le sud de la France. Mon père, Frank Summer, est mécanicien. Il adore les voitures anciennes et collectionne les voitures miniatures. Ma mère s'appelle Emily Summer, elle est infirmière, depends on your accent, dans un hôpital non loin de notre maison. Nous avons déménagé en France parce qu'elle a toujours aimé la couture de ce pays. La vie en France est très différente de celle au Canada. Ici, il fait toujours chaud. Chaque dimanche, nous allons à la magnifique plage de Biarritz et nous achetons des glaces après avoir nagé dans la mer. Les Français sont très sympathiques et accueillants. Nous parlons français lorsque nous sommes dehors, à l'école ou au marché. Cependant, nous continuons de parler canadien à la maison car mes parents ne veulent pas que je perde ma langue natale. Now, let's look at the first bit again. Okay. So I want you now to, let's play a game before we do the tense changes. I want you to read it through again, and I want you to see what would happen if you were trying to make it a he or a she. So it's kind of an interpreting exercise. So you're going into the third person. So let's think about this. If I'm talking third person, so anytime I say myself, in a text, it's going to become he or she. If I say we, it's going to become you. If I say my, it's going to become his or her. If you're reading or hearing the text our, it's going to become their. So as we progress through these interpreting exercises, then you will see that a lot of the time it depends on what the live situation is. So for example, if somebody says him, and you're in a live situation, the him could be somebody that's in the room or somebody that's out of the room. So if you're then translating for a doctor or somebody in business, you then obviously need to make that you. So you need to make that appropriate. If there's lots of people in the room, you need to use names. So the client says that Mr. Johnson, you need to do that. But this is, although we're going to be pushing into everything, this is an exercise in the tense changes for the sake of changing tenses for grammar. Well, if we could try and take the first lot and we go all through it again and we make it third person. So that means we're talking about a girl called Angelica Summer, what we're going to do. So, je m'appelle Angelica. So you, if you are watching this later, you think what you would try and say to do this. So, je m'appelle Angelica Summer, j'ai 12 ans. So what are we going to do with that first section to make it third person? So, elle s'appelle Angelica Summer. Elle a 12 ans, with an A. Et elle est canadienne. So we're just staying in the same tense, we're going to the verb to be. Il y a 5 ans, sa famille et elle, yeah, her family and her. Now notice avant déménager. Which verb is avant déménager from? It's from the we have. So that's going to become ils ont déménagé. Or as you read that straight, you should be able to say sa famille est-elle sa famille est-elle ont déménagé dans le sud de la France. Mon père, so you're going to have to develop a system. So mon père is not going to be mon père, it's going to be son père. So her father, son père Frank Summer. Can I remind you this text is now down the side. So son père Frank Summer est mécanicien. Why are we changing nothing there? We're changing nothing there because we're talking about her father. So he's third person, he's a he. In the text, he's a he. Her saying he's a he, to us he's a he, he's not present, okay? So we don't have to change any he's or she's when we go from first to third person. So Frank Summer est mécanicien, il adore les voitures anciennes et collectionne les voitures miniatures. Sa mère s'appelle Emily Summer. Yeah, that will be the same. Elle est infirmière dans un hôpital non loin de notre maison. Nous avons déménagé. Those of you who have just joined us, we're looking at the text down the side. And we're trying to translate it into different things. So right now, we are sticking into the his or her rather than the first person. So, nous avons déménagé. So, elle est infirmière dans un hôpital non loin de notre maison. So if I'm going third person, what is notre maison going to become? If my becomes her, then our is going to become their. So, non loin de leur maison. Nous avons déménagé en France. That's going to become ils ont déménagé en France because we're talking about the family now. Parce qu'elle a toujours aimé la culture de ce pays, because we're talking about the mom, so that will remain the same, okay? Carry on down to the next bit. If you haven't got it on the side, do please let me know, I'll post it again. So, la vie en France est très différente de celle au Canada. Now, that is exactly the same. That's going to remain the same. That's just going to remain the same because we're talking about life, okay? So, life is not a thing. Ici, il fait toujours chaud. That's going to remain the same because it's exactly the same. It's talking about third person, it's talking about the weather. Chaque dimanche, nous allons à la magnifique plage de Biarritz. So, nous allons is going to become ils vont. Okay? Ils vont à la magnifique plage de Biarritz. Et nous achetons des glaces. So, we buy. What's that going to become in third person? They buy. Ils achètent des glaces après avoir nagé dans la mer. Notice how après avoir nagé dans la mer is the perfect phrase because it works for anybody. We don't need to change it. And in a second, when we go into different tenses, you're going to see that that does the same thing. So, les Français sont très sympathiques. That's not going to change because we're talking about somebody else. Et accueillant, accueillant means welcoming. So, nous parlons français, we speak French is going to become they speak French. Donc, ils parlent français lorsqu'ils sont. We're going to have to link the QU and the ILS. Just make sure you can see how that would look. Okay. Lorsqu'ils sont dehors, à l'école ou au marché. Cependant, ils continuent, rather than nous continuons, de parler canadien à la maison. Car what's my parents going to become if we go third person? Ses parents ne veulent pas qu'elle perde. Again, we're going to have the ne veulent pas qu'elle perde. Now, let's just very quickly talk about that. That is going to be ne veut pas qu'elle perde. That is subjunctive, and it's going to be the same subjunctive, isn't it? Because it's they don't want her to lose, same as they don't want me to lose, same thing. So let's go back up to the top. Let's look at the stuff down the side again. Again, I really recommend that you have the link open at the top and you're reading it while you do it. Now let's play around. Let's go back to first person. Let's see if I just told you to stick all of this in the past. So if I basically got this story and you're reading it and I now want you to put it in the past. So what have you got to do when you go in the past? You basically choose, but which tense, Luke, in the past? That's the point. So you're basically choosing between three things, aren't you? You're choosing between an action, completed action, 1, 2, 3. You're choosing between the, so il a mangé. You're choosing between the was tense, used to tense, but don't just listen out for was or used to. Listen out for the continuing, the idea of a continuing verb. If you really needed to show that something was further back than the timeline you're talking about, then we've got a had tense, haven't we? So he had eaten before he ate. Il avait mangé. Okay. So if I said right now I'm eating a banana, je mange une banane, and I asked you to pop that in the past, you'd say j'ai mangé une banane. You go with the I ate a banana because that is an action. If I gave you every day, chaque jour, je mange une banane, that's a regular action. If I went into the past, every day, je mangeais, that would be I used to eat a banana. So that one is going to be in that tense, okay? So you now look at the text that's down the side. If you haven't got it, you need it. If it's not showing up, somebody please say, let me know. There's only a couple of you here. You're very welcome to be here. I'm recording this for my evening guys, so they're all at work. So if you can't find the text we're talking about, do let me know. So now I want you to read this text with me, and we're going to stick it straight in the past tense. So, and I'm saying past tense to cover the three pasts that we're going to use. So if it's je m'appelle Angelica Sommer, j'ai 12 ans et je suis canadienne. So you tell me, are those actions or descriptions? For me, they are descriptions. So if I went in the past, how would I pop all that in the past? So let's say it's an old woman talking about her life when she was a child. So, je m'appelais Angelica Sommer, j'avais 12 ans et j'étais canadienne. Okay, so appelé is going to have an AIS ending. J'avais is going to have an AIS ending. J'étais is going to have an AIS ending. Okay, so it's all the imperfect. People will look at il y a 5 ans, they'll go, oh, I need to stick that in the past. Actually, no. What's going on with il y a 5 ans? It means 5 years ago. So we can't say il y avait 5 ans. So what we're going to say is 5 years previously or 5 years before. So using words like avant or auparavant, because we can't say 5 years ago, because if you're in the future talking about when you were a little girl called Angelica Sommer, if you say 5 years ago, it means 5 years ago from now in the future. So we can't use il y a 5 ans. So 5 years ago, ma famille et moi now. The original says avant déménager dans le sud de la France. So this is where you've got a choice in your work. If I'm an 85-year-old woman and I'm talking about when I was a young girl and I say, we moved, but I'm going to say, nous avons déménagé. I'm still going to use the 1, 2, 3 to talk about a past event, whether it's 80 years later or 2 hours later. However, if it's 5 years before the thing 5 years before the thing that happened, we had moved, which you are welcome to use in French, you are welcome to make it the pluperfect tense. So I would accept if this was an exercise, so 5 years previously we moved to France, or 5 years previously we had moved to France. I would accept both. So what would be we moved? Nous avons déménagé, or just ma famille et moi avons déménagé. What would be we had moved? Avions déménagé. So we've got the choice of avant or avion, depending whether we're going to go part or whether we're going to go pluperfect. Avant or avion déménagé. Great. So mon père Frank Sommer était mécanicien. Yeah, we're going to have the was again because it's a description of what he does. Okay. Il adorait again because it's an on. You might go. Well, Luke, him loving something isn't a description, but it's an ongoing action. It's not like he went to the shop. So adorer would be the was tense there again. Okay. A collectionner. Now, don't be confused by collection. That's a verb. Yeah, if it were a noun, it would have une collection and it would end in ion. So collectionner again, AIT. Les voitures miniatures. So because of this, a lot of this is describing regular stuff that these people do. Welcome, whoever's just joined. We're translating into different tenses. The exercise that we're translating into different tenses is down the side. If you can't see it, do please let me know. Do please write something. So if I've got, he is a mechanic, that's a general statement. So going in the past, that would be he was a mechanic. So we'd have il était mécanicien, we won't have il a été, okay? So ma mère s'appelle Emily Summer is our original. So ma mère s'appelait, yeah, we'd go in the was, my mother was called, AIT ending for the was. Elle est infirmière, so that's the you tell me, is that an ongoing action in the present? She is a nurse. Yep. So in the past, we're not going to have an action, we're going to have an ongoing past. So she was a nurse, elle était infirmière, dans un hôpital non loin de notre maison. We moved to France because she has always loved the culture of this country. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that one up for those of you that don't have to keep scrolling up to the top. But let's have a look at this one. What am I going to do if I'm going to stick that in the past? So, nous avons déménagé en France parce qu'elle a toujours aimé la culture de ce pays. So, in normal French, we've got we moved to France because she has always loved, or she always loved the culture of this country. Now, if I'm now talking about this as an old woman, which is the situation we're doing, we moved to France could kind of still work. So, we moved to France when I was little. That would still be in the 1, 2, 3. Because she's always loved the culture of this country. Now that would work if, say, you were 40 and mom was still around. So both of those would be able to stay the same because they're still in the past. If you're an 85-year-old woman and very sadly you no longer have your mother, you can't say she's always loved the culture because she's no longer with us. So it would be we moved to France because she always used to love. Elle aimait toujours. So that would look like that. Elle aimait toujours, okay, la culture de ce pays. If it was, we had, so before all this other thing happened in the past that we're about to talk about, we had moved to France, we'd moved to France because my mother always used to love, so we could say, nous avions déménagé en France parce qu'elle avait, because she had always, we could use another had, yeah? Or we could say we moved to France because prior to us moving to France, she had always loved the culture of this country. So nous avons déménagé parce qu'elle avait toujours aimé. So basically, there's a few options there that work. It depends when you're saying, whether you're talking about the move as a thing in the past or something in the past prior to your other past. It depends how you're talking about the mom always loving the culture of this country. So be aware that, again, if we're going to the past, we've got the 3, we've got the 2, we've got the pluperfect. Okay, if you don't understand any of why I've gone with that, then do please let me know. Okay, so next up, if you need to scroll up to the top, please do. So we're translating. La vie en France, we're placing the tenses differently. So la vie en France est très différente de celle au Canada. So we're saying life in France is different from that in Canada. So if we stuck that in the past, again, if we're saying life is different, okay, that's an ongoing thing. So what's my ongoing past tense? The imperfect. La vie en France était, life in France was different from that in Canada. Now you can say la vie a été, the life has been, but that's like recently, life has been a bit hectic. So we're not going to use that one. Ici, il fait toujours chaud. Here, it's always warm. So you again tell me, is it an action that's just right now, or is it an ongoing thing? So it's an ongoing thing. So ici, il faisait toujours chaud. Now, translation note, those of you that are looking at doing interpreting or translation, if the text says here, and the lady as an old woman that you're translating for or interpreting for is no longer living in the place, you can't say ici. You'd have to say là, or the name of the town. But if she lives in the same town, ici. So ici, il faisait toujours chaud. Make sure you've got the spelling of that, okay? Toujours chaud. So listen to the clue in the text now. Chaque dimanche, nous allons à la magnifique plage. So every Sunday, we go to the beach. Biarritz is a great beach, by the way. Anybody that's visited France, West Coast, Atlantic Coast, gorgeous. So every Sunday, the clue is in the phrase every Sunday. It shows us it's regular. So even though English says every Sunday we went, Notice that that's actually just a short form for every Sunday we used to go. So if you hear went in, oh, when I was little, I went to school near my house. You feel that you want to go 1, 2, 3, but it's not, is it? Don't listen to the English. It's the ongoing tense in the past. Yeah. So nous allions. Okay. When I was when I was little, I went to school. Quand j'étais petit, j'allais à l'école. You've got to be careful with that. Okay. Good. So, et nous achetons, so we regularly buy ice cream. Now, if it's right now, just today, we're buying an ice cream. If that went in the past, what would it be? Nous avons acheté. It would be one event in the past. It would therefore be the we have bought. Yeah, we bought. Nous avons acheté. Because it's regularly, we buy ice cream. Nous achetons des glaces or ice creams. That regular present is going to go in the nous achetions des glaces. Okay? Après avoir nagé dans la mer. Les Français sont très sympathiques. That's a description. So in the past, les Français étaient. Can we make sure we've got the plural spelling of été? Again, if you can't follow this, it's at the top in the chat box, or let me know, I will give you the link. Étaient très sympathiques. Et accueillant. Nous parlons français. That's regular. Yeah. So it's saying we speak French when we're, where are we? Whilst we're outside. So if you were translating this into a different tense for an exercise, and it says right now we're speaking, and then we're going to go for a walk. If you went in the past, you could say we spoke 1, 2, 3. But because it's regularly we speak French, then the regular ongoing past is going to be nous parlions français lorsque nous étions dehors. Yeah, we were outside. Okay, or when we used to be. Okay? So what we're really getting is how in French was and were and used to are going in this tense, but that in English you don't often say was, were, and used to. You might just say I. So I spoke French with my grandmother when I was little. You might go, oh, I spoke, yeah, j'ai parlé. But what you're actually getting is I used to speak French, je parlais, so you've got to be careful, okay? Great, let's crack on and then we can move up to more exciting tense. Cependant, nous continuions, or you could say we continued, so nous avons continué, because that itself suggests a verb of ongoing. So from that point, we continued. De parler canadien, canadien obviously is English, à la maison, car mes parents no, they didn't want, ne voulaient pas. Now, this is really interesting, they didn't want. Notice that if any of you study Spanish or Italian, for example, you have a subjunctive or a conjunctive in Italian, which is basically going to be in the imperfect because you're wanting something to happen in the past. French doesn't have that. So if you wanted something, you're just going to still use that present subjunctive. So they wanted me to not lose, they didn't want me to lose my native language. Right, back up to the top. Tell me if you've not got it. Now we're going to stick it into another tense. Now we're going to stick it into the future. So if you were talking to the future, talking about the future, you would do two things. You would use a combination of je vais plus infinitive. So I'm going to come, I'm going to speak, je vais parler, je vais venir, and you would use a combination of ray, ra, and ron, so the proper future endings, like je mangerai, tu mangeras, il mangera. And we tend to use the go plus the infinitive for plans when we're talking about plans. And if it's kind of got a data transfer quality to it, you're giving information, we use will. So I'm going to get the train today. The train will leave at 4 o'clock. Yeah, the train's going to leave at 4 o'clock is obviously fine, but things that are kind of a little bit more factual, we tend to use will with. That's a rough rule, but as a general rule, if you feel you would say go and the infinitive in French, in English you do the same in French. However, for the purposes of this exercise, let's see how good you are with your future. We are going to entirely use the ray, ra, ron method. If you don't know what that is, then press pause on this video and go and just type future into the video search on my videos on the channel, and you will find ever such a quick guide for the future, which is basically that whether you're using a standard future or an irregular future, you are going to have ray, ra, ron as the endings, because you've obviously got ray, ra, ron, ray, and ron. Okay, if that's not clear, please do let me know. Have I written that out correctly? Yeah. So basically, the endings, you're going to think of it as being like that. So if we then look at the same article again, and this time then let's imagine that we're a 5-year-old girl. We could imagine we're a 5-year-old boy. Oh, we've got a frozen page. It's fine. We've got a 5-year-old girl who is imagining that the whole thing is in the future. So it's going to be her life in the future. Sorry, I've got the system being funny. Let me just sort this out. No. Great. So system's trying to reboot on me. Lovely. Okay, so from the top. So the whole thing is going to mean my name will be. So je m'appellerai AI, Angelica Summer. J'aurai, yeah, irregular future. Yeah, I will have. I'll be, yeah, same verb, 12 ans. Et je serai canadienne. We can't say 5 years ago because we're going in the future. So if we wanted to say, and 5 years previously to this other future, again, we could use 5 ans auparavant or avant, before. So my family and I, now, you might be tempted to go déménageront, will move, but it's actually will have moved. So this is showing us that there's something in the future that hasn't yet happened, but that will be in the past with regards to our other future. So come around tomorrow, I will have finished my work by then, and we can do something. I haven't finished my work yet, but I will have finished my work by the time you do come around. So it's kind of in the future, but before the other future thing we're talking about. So for that then, instead of saying avant déménager, you will say auront. You will use the future past. If you don't know what the future past is, do please drop me an email, logiclanguagelearning@gmail.com, and I will send you the appropriate videos. So auront, ma famille et moi aurons déménagé dans le sud de la France. Mon père will be, sera, mécanicien. Il adore. Now, this is what you've got to be careful about. The verb adorer, yeah, will become adorera. Okay? If you've got adorer, don't say il adora. People often say adora, which is wrong. Okay? It's adorera. Okay? So il adorera, et collectionnera will collect miniature cars. My mom will be called, so in this hypothetical magical situation, my mom will be called, ma mère s'appellera, elle sera, we will have moved, so nous aurons. There's nothing strictly wrong with we will move in this future thing. We'll move to France, but we'll have moved to France because it's in the past before the future. So nous aurons déménagé en France. Now, because she's always loved the culture of this country, this just depends on the situation. So either this is hypothetical, imagining, I can't even speak English. Either this is your imagination, it's imaginary, and you're like, well, because she will have always loved, it's a daydream, or because genuinely we will move because my mom generally has always loved. So that just depends on how you're translating it. So life in France will be sera, S-E-R-A. Il fera, the weather will be always nice. Yep, and we will go, nous irons. Hope you're getting these irregular futures. Nous irons. Nous irons à la magnifique plage Biarritz, and we will buy. So if it's acheter, what we will buy? Nous achèterons les glaces après avoir mangé dans la mer, des glaces. The French will be, les Français seront très sympathiques et accueillants. We will speak, nous parlerons. So really, this is a great exercise just to check that we know the proper future. Whilst we are, so lorsque nous serons, will be dehors, à l'école ou au marché. We will continue, nous continuerons de parler canadien, car mes parents won't want. Mes parents ne voudront pas. Okay, ne voudront pas, right? Ne voudront. Right, so same article again. If you've still not got it, send me an email. If you can't find it in the notes, right, off you go. So I'm so sorry, I've just read a lovely message from Griffith. Hey, it's 2 a.m. where I live. I've got to go, but thank you so much for doing this for us. Oh, that's really sweet. Right, so up we go. So the same stuff again, the same stuff down the side, the same basic article. Again, if you've not got it, I'll pop it here. Open it up while I'm talking, just have it in front of you. So we're now going to imagine another situation. So let's imagine that we're saying, I am happy that before every sentence. And if we say I am happy that, if those of you that haven't already guessed it, it should be subjunctive. So I am happy that you are here. Je suis content que vous soyez là, or vous soyez ici. It's going to be subjunctive. So basically, everything's going to be subjunctive. Okay, now this is completely hypothetical. You wouldn't say this. I'm happy that I live in France. I'm happy that my dad's a mechanic. I'm happy that, I mean, it just, you know, but it's just a hypothetical thing to check that we know all our subjunctives. So if you don't yet know the subjunctive, do please go to my videos or email me, again, logiclanguagelearning@gmail.com, and I will send you the big pile of videos all on the subjunctive specifically, which you need for advanced French. So, or even normal French, to be quite honest with you. So up we go. So, It's My Life is the title of the article. So it's my life. I'm happy it's my life. Je suis content que ça soit ma vie. Okay. I'm happy that my name is Angelica Summers. Je suis content que je m'appelle Angelica Summer. That's going to be the same because ER verbs, A verbs sound the same in the subjunctive unless it's nouveau. Je suis content que je... Now, if you were doing this properly, I'm happy that my name is Angelica Summers, that I'm 12 and that I'm Canadian. Like in English, you could just repeat the that 3 times. So, je suis content, or contente if it's the girl, que je m'appelle Angelica Summer, que j'ai 12 ans et que je sois canadienne. So let's just make sure we've got the spelling of that. A for the subjunctive will be this, soit for the I will be that, okay? 5 years ago, now, if it was I'm happy that 5 years ago, when I did this exercise with about 25 of my students this week, 22 of them tried to make the subjunctive on il y a. So if it's like there are 3 people, il y a 3 personnes, and I said I'm happy there are 3 people, je suis content qu'il y ait, then yes, it would be for that il y a. But here, no. Il y a has been used as a time expression and verbally to say 5 years ago, this happened. So it's going to be I'm happy that 5 years ago, il y a is going to stay the same. So nous avons déménagé, we're going to have to use the past subjunctive, we're going to have to make the auxiliary subjunctive. So basically, I'm making the avant in this subjunctive. So je suis content que nous ayons déménagé. Yeah, if we have a verb in the 1, 2, 3 and we need to make it subjunctive, we just put the middle word subjunctive. So soit, a, etc. So nous ayons déménagé dans le sud de la France. Anything you don't get tense-wise about this video, drop me the email, I'll send you the appropriate videos. Dans le sud de la France. Frank Summer, so I'm happy that my father's a mechanic. Je suis content que mon père soit mécanicien. I'm happy he loves old cars, classic cars. Je suis content qu'il adore, no visual difference, et qu'il collectionne les voitures miniatures. My mother's called Emily Summer. I'm happy she's called Emily Summer. Je suis content qu'elle s'appelle Emily Summer. That's not going to change sound or writing because it is the same. It's the A verb. I'm happy she's a nurse. Je suis content qu'elle soit infirmière, okay? Dans un hôpital non loin de notre maison. I'm happy we moved. Je suis content que nous ayons déménagé en France parce qu'elle a toujours... Now, if it was I'm happy she has always liked, you know, je suis content qu'elle ait toujours aimé la culture de ce pays. This is obviously like a hypothetical translation at this point. So life in France is very different. So I'm happy that life in France is very different. Je suis content que la vie en France soit très différente de celle au Canada. I'm happy that here it's always warm. Je suis content qu'ici, il fasse toujours chaud. No, I don't know, I'm stressing toujours. It's il fasse is the bit to stress. So the subject is il, the subjunctive is fasse for do. Chaque dimanche, nous allons à la magnifique plage. Now, if I gave you I'm happy that we go to the beach, je suis content que nous allions. So to remind you, the subjunctive of go is I for everybody, apart from nous and vous, where it's going to be allions, alliés. Yeah, allions, alliés. It's not going to be ayons, ayés, ayons, ayés, or anything like that, okay? So I know that it's soit, soyons, soyez, soit, ayez, ayons, ayez, but go is different, okay? So, je suis content qu'il fasse toujours chaud. Je suis content que nous allions à la magnifique plage de Biarritz et que nous achetions normal ER, A verb, so the subjunctive would be ion. des glaces après avoir nagé dans la mer. Notice after swimming, après avoir nagé dans la mer has worked for everything, okay? Les Français sont très sympathiques. So I'm happy that the French are. Je suis content que les Français soient. Notice it will be the plural subjunctive. Soit. Très sympathique et accueillant. I'm happy we speak French. Je suis content que nous parlions. Because it's just a normal A verb going into the subjunctive. Parlions. Lorsque nous sommes dehors, you don't need to make the second bit subjunctive. At school or at the market. However, I'm happy that we continue. Je suis content que nous continuions de parler canadien à la maison. I'm happy my parents want me to. Now, there's already a subjunctive in that, so you're going to end up with two. I'm happy that my parents, subjunctive want, that I don't lose my life, you know. So, je suis content que mes parents ne veuillent pas, subjunctive of vouloir. Ooh. People don't often see the subjunctive of vouloir because it's like that's often the thing that will give us the subjunctive after the vouloir. So I want you to come. Je veux que tu viennes. But it could be, it's interesting that you want to learn French. C'est intéressant que tu veuilles apprendre le français. So we can get the subjunctive of this verb, obviously. So mes parents ne, je suis content que mes parents ne veuillent pas que je perde ma langue natale, double subjunctive. So I hope that's all useful. None of you are here right now that I'm setting this out to. Mike has got this as homework to watch anyway. I'm going to do another one, probably on a similar text, just instantly jumping around into all the tenses, and that's what we're going to do. So this was a kind of introduction video on the tense swapping, but also first thinking about interpreting. And I will be doing another video on how to interpret. Okay, so if you find that, for those of you that are possibly looking at doing some interpreting work, you know, either living in France or in a sort of French-speaking environment where you've got French speakers near you for work, and you're going to be the interpreter, then do just drop me an email so I can compile like a really good, useful guide on the kind of things that you need to know. Okay, so I might do an interpreting video pretty sooner rather than later. Okay, right. Any other problems? Or it should pop up. I'll put it there. logiclanguagelearning.com. Can I remind you, I still have the special offer on my vocab podcasts. You're all very welcome to apply for those. You don't need a PayPal to pay it. You can just pay it with a normal card on PayPal. So that's been reduced to £25 for anybody who uses the YouTube channel. You don't need proof of subscription, just basically, you know, the fact you've contacted me and you quote YouTube will be enough. All right then, guys, I will speak to you all very soon. I hope this was useful. I will do another one with another text and look forward to the interpreting video. Take care.